Hello and welcome. My name is Theo, and I've been joined by Cheryl and Peter from Lifewave. And these two are amazing. I got introduced to Cheryl through my friend Mark Atwood, who was telling me about these astonishing patches. And believe it or not, this little patch here is using my own body's light technology to create new stem cells. Um, and I wanted to invite Cheryl back because if you watch the video that we did with John Harmon, it's been about 5 or 6 weeks since then, and there's been some amazing changes to people I know and to people that have been using the patches. And Cheryl said, let's also bring on Peter because Peter is also incredibly knowledgeable and has been with the business for quite a while. So welcome to both of you. So Peter, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved and more importantly, what the difference that you're seeing in people's lives from using these patches.
Wow. So thank you, Theo, for inviting me on your call here today. Um, just a little bit about myself. I come from a beauty background. I used to be in the beauty industry as a barber for many years in my 20s. And throughout my years when I was cutting hair, I had a lot of men clients that were always sick, right? They get older. I was asking myself, why do people get sick? I had no clue about health. And then about 20 years ago, I transitioned into the direct sales industry and I focused all about health companies. I joined nutrition companies, vitamins, anything that had to do with health. But about a little bit over a decade ago, I discovered the energy, the frequency world of the direct sales. And then when I found the LifeWave patch a little bit over 4 years ago, I could not believe there was actually a technology where you can use your body's light, your body's energy to heal yourself. So when I looked at more into LifeWave, who LifeWave was, and at that time it was a 15-year-old company where David Schmidt is the owner, the CEO. And a little bit over 15 years ago, he discovered a technology called phototherapy. Just like when we go into the sun and the sun hits our skin and turns that into vitamin D, he has figured out how to capture that light, that technology, and embed it into a wearable technology, Teal. And then from here, he created a wearable patches. So now, 4 years later, I've been with the company, and what I've seen in the last 4 years has blown my mind as far as in terms of how many people we have gotten off of medications, how many surgeries that we have prevented, because as we get older, our bodies does not produce our own stem cells anymore. So when you cannot produce your own stem cells, you physically cannot recover and regenerate. You cannot tune yourself up again like a car can, right? So
Mhm.
that's why today's times, it is so empowering because today a human, an individual, does not need to spend tens of thousands of dollars and inject other people's stem cells to help them. But we can physically tell you for less than a cup of coffee a day, we can physically turn you on again and let your body do its thing. So in the last 4 years, we have, I don't even know how hundreds of thousands of people, customers, partners, ourselves use it. I myself, my family, my friends can have countless of testimonials from every single rarest issue to every challenge that everybody experiences every day, right? From just energy, sleep, and pain. I mean, just those three things, till everybody in the world is already experiencing those three things.
And I told Cheryl actually that I my mum watched the video that we did with Dr. John Harmon, and
Yes.
she messaged me and she said, "Theo, do you think this could help my shoulder?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, 11 years ago, I had a nerve block for
Mhm.
anesthetic put into my shoulder." And she said, "And for the last 11 years, I've had trouble with my right hand and it shakes." And she said, because there's some nerve damage there. And my mum, bless her, she's a potter and she's in her mid 70s. And she's also, she decorates. And so she needs to be able to use her hands to decorate the beautiful ceramics that she makes. And it's been super frustrating for her. And she sent me a message the other day. I'm going to find it on my phone right now. I should have prepped this better, but this shows you it's real. Um, Mama, here, where are you, Mama? Here. She said, uh, 11 years ago, I had this block put in my neck for anesthetic. She said, I've been suffering from anxiety. I've had Meniere's disease for 4 years, and that's changed to PPPV. I have to do audiovestibular exercises daily. I watched the video of you talking about X39 5 weeks ago. I've been putting on one patch daily, and it's reduced my tremors by about 75 to 80%. I feel so much less vulnerable. Makes me well up. I feel
Wow.
so less vulnerable meeting my friends for lunch. I'm a potter, and it was really adversely affecting my decorating ability. Whoa, long may it continue to improve. And when you have things like that with people that you love, it's just like,
Yeah.
wow,
Wow.
absolutely. Wow. And my wife, bless her, she's had some sort of autoimmune thing for over 2 years now. That's been brought up, I think, by a lot of childhood trauma and things. And she was suffering from these flares. And when I'm talking about flares, if you see somebody with psoriasis or eczema, it was like that times five. It was on her face, it was on her, around her eyes, it was under her breasts, it's on her neck. And she didn't leave the house for January and February of this year. She pretty much didn't leave the house because we live in a tropical climate and she could not go out into the heat, the moisture, the condensation. She had to stay in an air conditioned room. And she's been using those patches for 5 weeks. She's had one minor flare that came up for about 2 or 3 hours and then it went down again. And
Wow.
Wow.
previously, the moment one started, she was potentially in bed or at home for 2 weeks. So
Wow.
it's just like and that's why I wanted to keep talking about this, because there are, when I first put that video out, we had quite a lot of feedback about, why are you promoting an MLM business? Why are you
Right.
promoting network marketing business? Surely that's not what you're about. And actually, it triggered me, because I was like, yes, there are bad businesses out there, and yes, there are Ponzi schemes out there, and yes, there are pyramid schemes where people get hurt. I said, but the difference with this is this business has been around for 20 years, and we're about health sovereignty. We're about wealth sovereignty. And anything that we, especially with what we've seen in the last 4 years about how the big P have lied to everybody on massive, massive scales. They do not want businesses like this to thrive, and that's why you won't see an advert for this on Google. You won't see an advert for this on Facebook, because they're not going to let it, because it works and it's super cheap, less than $3 a day, is it? And
Yeah.
you're healing yourself. Well, that isn't putting coffers into the big companies that want you to keep sticking these things in your, making people sicker and sicker and sicker.
That's
I mean,
right.
I'm so passionate about it. And so I also know, sorry, I'm talking a lot here, but there's a reason for it. I also know that we've had this movie and documentary series. It's actually the 5th anniversary of it, but only 2 or 3 people out of every 100 that watch it ever contribute anything back financially. And right at the end, I asked people why, and they said, we just don't have the funds. And this is a business that anybody can start, and it works like this. So tell us, Cheryl, a bit about your experience, about what's happened since you found out about it.
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's like the perfect product to me, because once you put it on, it's self-diagnosis. I don't have to worry that somebody's not going to do this, something's going to happen ever, because your body's going to take over. As far as business wise, it's changed my whole entire life, because my focus is heart centered. It's about helping people. It's about giving people their power back. And this company encompasses all of it. It's an amazing support system. I've never been in a company before that they already have systems in place that you can just get people onto, and they could build a business just by logging in to our Evolve team. My husband now went on a free trip that I went to Cancun with Lifewave that I've won. I've never won a trip before. And now he's telling me, when's your next Zoom? When do you have to go do something with? Now he's like pushing me, and it's so fun because the support now makes a huge difference. I just love this company. I love the energy from the CEO all the way down to the people I'm pulling in and getting them to understand. It's all about giving your ability back to heal. That's all it's about. It's amazing.
That's so lovely. And Peter, tell us a little bit about your experience and really the because I find the key to this is to share with people the experiences that others have had, more than but more about the business, it's almost like how wonderful that we have an opportunity to help people, to heal people, and to earn some passive income from it, because we all need it. We've got to put food in the fridge. The cost of everything is going up in life. And here's a business that's ready to go. You wear the patch, people ask you questions, and you tell them about it. Peter, what's your experience?
Well, I would like you first to, I would love for your viewers to really get to know Lifewave, because David Schmidt, 20 years ago, he created this technology for the Navy SEALs, the Navy SEALs. And because of the sales, because of the capital he raised from this technology, he knew that the world was ready for distribution, but the cheapest way, the fastest way to get it out to the world had to be through direct sales, because the story behind of a testimonial had to be shared through people to people, Till. So you cannot advertise this. This has to be shared through stories, through testimonials. And we have done this for 20 years. And David Schmidt has created a compensation plan, or a way to reward us as the connector, as the builder, because we're the ones giving our time. And when you can share the story, and when people get a result from this, David Schmidt is paying us, he's rewarding us to build relationships. It has taken now over 20 years for David to build what we call a foundation, meaning that we manufacture our own technology. He has spent hundreds of millions of dollars in research and development. That's why we have over 100 patents. We have over 100 studies on just a wearable technology. In the last 20 years, he has registered our company to over 80 countries. So not only does the United States, not only does New Zealand, not only Australia, but the whole world, Theo, they get the whole, everybody gets to use this technology without registration, without doctors, without licensing, without anything, because this is called non-transdermal. So if you go to our website, if you really take a look at that website from the top to bottom, every patent, every study, every testimonials from our doctors, from our athletes, from our users. And I love it when you say the word sovereign being. What does the word sovereign being mean? It means to be free, free to do business anywhere around the world, free to be able to share on any platform that you use, free, free from the medical system, free of control. It's time for each individual to take back their own power to heal themselves. And Lifewave is just a tool for you to use. And because Team Evolve, our team, we have so much experience in the direct sales, we have created literally a turnkey or a hands-off way system where you can just plug into us online. We can teach you, we can coach you, we can hold your hands through the entire health and wealth journey. Because Theo, in the last 4 years, I mean, one of our oldest distributors, her name is Carol McDonald, 82-year-old woman, lost her husband, no social security, no 401k, no savings. She lost everything, but she had a network because she was in the networking industry. I told her to join us. She joined me 4.5 years ago, and today she's earning more than 6 figures by building this business all in the comfort of her own home. She does not have to drive to hotel meetings. She doesn't have to fly across the country. I taught her literally how to use the Zoom, and all she does is call her friends every day around the states, around her neighborhood, around her community, and just ask them, what's going on with you? How's your health? Can I help you? I found a technology that can help you. Can you please get on these Zooms? So you saying sovereign being, this tool is a sovereign tool. It is a tool for us to be free. Our vision is just to get this patch to every single family in every home around the world, because 7.8 billion people have stem cells. 7.8 billion people are aging, right? So we're the only company in the whole world that has a solution for 7.8 8 billion people.
It's amazing. I mean, and the level of support that you also get through Cheryl and through your Evolve team is astonishing. And I just showed the website there, and I actually had an experience on Sunday where I took my my youngest son, who's just about to turn 12. I took him to the local wake park, so you can do wakeboarding on a cable. And my friend that owns it is in his 70s, and he said, I've got this and I've got this issue. And he was like, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh," he said, "it's a patch." And he was like, he said, "Do you think it could help with this?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "But if we go onto a search engine and we type in that patch and the, what your condition is," which I'm not going to say because it's private, we had a look and we were like, and there was people, and we found testimonials. And he was like, "Do you think this will work?" And I was like, "Well, we can give it a try." I said, "Is it worth it for $3 a day?" And he was like, "How long does it take?" I said, "Well, some people can notice results immediately. Some people it takes 4 weeks. Some people it takes 8 weeks. But, after 6 weeks, and if you look at the detail on your X39, Start X39 Now site, it actually shows you a timeline." I said, it might help. Anyway, so we ordered them on Sunday. They were shipped on Monday. He had them by Wednesday. And then he started wearing the patches, and he sent me a message this morning. I'm so excited to see how this works. And it was easy. And I messaged Cheryl afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, I just met a guy," and I told him about it, and he said, "Yeah,
sign him up."
Yeah, because for less than $3 a day, you're like, "Well, why wouldn't I try that?"
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing. And Theo, I can tell you, I know there's a stigmatism in the network marketing, and that's why we love these calls. But exactly for someone like you, just having fun, just hanging out with your son, the business is simply helping other people's life to become better. We just created the ultimate simplicity tool to make that transition easier. Lifewave is a one-of-a-kind, a unique company. We're not, the reason why nobody's heard of Lifewave is because David Schmidt has never created an MLM environment around Lifewave. We are a true health technology company with patents, with studies, just like any other health company, but our distribution model is the direct sales. That's why we can get out to all the countries all around the world, and that's why we have the freedom to be able to communicate all this through our phone. We work our business through our phone. We all have a phone bill. We all have a health bill. We just combined both of them and just made it easier for everyone to take back control.
And what do you say when people go, "Well, it's $99 a month, and for the X39 patch, it's too much money"? What do you? Because I often come against this, but then I will find that there are people that will quite happily spend $400, $500, $600 fixing their vehicle because they need that vehicle to go to work and back. But this is the most important vehicle that we have, this skin suit that we give when we get brought to Earth.
So, Tia, really easy. Okay, it's expensive. Compared to what? Compared to the pain medication you're taking? Compared to the Red Bull that you're drinking? Compared to all the makeup and the hair products you're using? Compared to all your skin supplements? What is it really expensive? I'd like to share, how can this $3 a day save you $10 a day? Let's ask a better question. How can this one patch eliminate many of the other things that you're taking that might not be as effective as you think they are?
Mm-hmm. And do you want to support the pharmaceutical, or do you want to support yourself? It's about building yourself, right? And I mean, he's absolutely right, because once you get that patch on, I stopped all my vitamins. We are alchemists. We can support our own bodies in that regard. So I stopped all my vitamins. All I take is a mineral supplement, and I get out in the sun. It's that simple.
So you get your vitamin D from the sunshine. You're getting the stem cell regeneration from the light that your body is emitting for 24 hours a day. But these patches, so I keep mine by my toothbrush. because I remember to put it on in the morning when I brush my teeth, and I remember to take it off in the evening when I brush my teeth. So you only want to keep like a certain number of hours per day. Why is that?
I'll let Cheryl answer that one.
We have a circadian rhythm. It's a rhythm with a natural rhythm of our body of repair and regenerate and activity. And so David chose to use that natural rhythm that we all have. And so the 12 hours on is that activity, the 12 hours off is repair at night. And so that's why that 12 hours is so important, because just like and I hate to use this analogy, but when you take too much antibiotics, your body doesn't respond. Right. And so if you take the patch 24 hours a day for 6 months in a row, your body starts to, this isn't that big a deal. I'm just going to like really hang out here. It doesn't respond as well as if you do those 12-hour increments. Much more powerful.
It makes total sense. The body, because the body will get used to things. I remember reading Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Body, and he talked about fat. He said, because if you go on a diet, he said, the worst thing you can do is stay on a diet. He said, the best thing you can do is to 6 days of the week. And on Saturday, have an absolute blowout where you eat whatever you want. So your body doesn't think it's in starvation mode. And actually, you'll progressively lose a lot more weight and get a lot fitter. And I love the idea of.
I know, me too. I always have one day I can just pick out whatever I want. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about the patches then. So somebody can basically use the link that we're going to put near this video, and then they go to the website, and then they have a choice. You can either just sign up as a customer to get the patches delivered on a monthly subscription, which is super simple to stop as well. So that's super important to know, because and that's another thing. I don't like continuity programs because it's difficult to find the button where you need to sign. No, when you log into the website, on the left-hand side, it says subscription or membership. You click that and it says cancel. That's it. Literally 3 clicks of the mouse and it's done. But the majority of people don't, because they start to feel the benefit of it. But you've got to take away the objections from people thinking, well, this is one of these things I'm going to get stuck into, and then they're not going to give me my money back. You also just told me something about Lifewave, that Cheryl, when we spoke last week, about that they just won an award.
Yes. Yes, and the direct selling industry award. So I'll just briefly tell you this, because Peter, I'm sure, is going to have a much more, because it was so exciting. It's the only company since 2022, when all this crap hit the fan, and it's the only direct selling company that has actually had growth. Every other company in the whole United States that I know of hasn't grown. They've flatlined. But Lifewave is just continuing that growth cycle, right, Peter?
Yes. So 5 years ago, before the X39, the company was doing about 40 million a year globally. Last year, we did 400 million. So think about, that's a 10th growth. But in the last 2 years, we are the only company that's growing in momentum. So that's why we were voted #1 company in momentum in the entire direct sales industry. And we are 20 years old. So to be a 20-year-old company to hit the sales of almost $500 million is unheard of in the industry. And we are growing double digits month to month, year to year now. So the reason why is, again, as the world is experiencing the X39 or wearable technology, we are transitioning people from injections, lotions, and pills. When people understand this technology, it's called non-transdermal. When they see how affordable it is, when they see how easy it is to use, when they see the instant results, and when they trust you, Theo and Cheryl, because it came from a trusted source, because you got an experience, your mom got an experience. This is what's fueling our growth now. And I'm just going to say this for your viewers. Today, you're going to watch this. It is April the 25th. Hang out a little bit more till the end of the year. I promise you, our next technology that's coming out, it is going to be even more powerful than what you see today, because David Schmidt has broke the code. He has figured out the true code of aging, and the next technology is going to solve 2/3 of the whole human genome. So just think of this: 1/3 of the human genome. The next is the 2/3 human genome combined. So, Theo, get ready, okay? We're things are gonna get in overdrive here. So I'm so happy your viewers are getting to watch this way months ahead. Position themselves, order this at wholesale cost. Any of our 5 wholesale packages will get you a free website. But the main thing is that once you get on this, you're now turning back the clock in your body. I think that's the most important people need to understand, because many people don't know that there is an actual solution. We can tell you, we can prove to you, we are the solution for humankind.
It's wonderful.
So many different ways. Yeah, it's so exciting because Peter is passionate about this. And what I love about him is that energy just trickles down to everybody that's in our downline. It's so exciting to see how this builds. And when he talks about sovereignty, that's my passion about helping people become free. Being free is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Super important. And so I touched on the fact that if somebody just wants to get the X39 patches, then they're able to just order that. And I've actually created a super simple video that shows you how to go onto the website and how to place an order. And then if somebody wants to find out about potentially doing this as a business themselves, whether it be 1 hour a week, whether it be 8 hours a day, it's entirely up to you. Then there's a separate link that you can put your name and email in, and then that will actually send your details to Cheryl, and then Cheryl will connect you with you to tell you all about it, because that's the very best way. If you're going to have questions, you're probably going to have hundreds of questions, and Cheryl is perfectly placed to answer them for you. And she's an absolute gift, because she's, she just gives her time as to help people to get this going. And I'm super impressed with what I've seen in the last 5 weeks. As I said, I forgot to say there's one more. My mum's friend got the patch after my mum told her, and she's been suffering with hip pain and hasn't been able to sleep at night, and she's now sleeping at night. And there's another lady in her 70s. And Cheryl, I saw you talked about a lady, I think she was 84, and she let me tell us about the 84-year-old lady. This is brilliant.
Oh yeah, some of these stories are incredible. Actually, she was actually in an old age home, and she was actually 89, and she called me. She saw Mark, and she called me and said, Cheryl, I don't know what to do. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to eat. I don't want to do anything. I just want to go. I want to go. And I said, her name was Tanny, and I said, Tanny, let's get you started on the patches. So 3 weeks after that, she texted me, Cheryl, I got up, I went and ate, I went down the hall. Guess what? I played bingo. Like, she started to want to live again. And so I kept up with her. And the other day, she's turned 92. She's building the business. She is flying all over the country. She's in her own apartment. She's like, she goes, you don't understand what this did for me. My kids can't believe they actually threw me a 91st birthday party, and I flew to it. I actually she's like, amazing. I love her to death. My next door neighbor, 84, was in 2nd stage of dementia, is now not at all. Her doctor can't, what are you doing? And she's now taking care of her husband who has Parkinson's. She's just like a little bug. She just goes everywhere. And she goes, you saved my life. I'm back. Yeah. It's amazing stories.
That is just fantastic to hear. And I would just like to say a huge thank you to you both for sharing your time and for your passion and for all the good that you're doing in the world. And also how lovely is it that you're earning an income by doing something that is creating betterment in the world, because that's what it's all about. And so if you're interest to you, then please jump. Have you got any last words, Peter, before we close?
The last words I would like to say is because we're on a business topic. Our company pays back 60 cents out of the dollar. So the reason why I'm saying that is because we support so many corporations, right? In everything we buy, whether it's pharmaceutical, whether it's food, whether it's the car industry. Does any of these industries pay back our communities? They don't. When you join Lifewave, for every dollar that's sold, 60 cents goes back into our communities. So imagine, Theo, that we have built a business, an organization that does over $100 million annually now, just for our team. Imagine $60 million goes back into our own pockets, into every single family that shares, that is in our own ecosystem. So just like how you're promoting here, you've built such a following, you've built people that trust you. This is called an ecosystem. We just want to make sure we take care of our entire ecosystem, from our health, and then we create our own wealth and let Lifewave reward us to build relationships and save people, help people. Just like these stories, we hear these stories every single day now. So I want people to know that there is a community that is light. We're here for you, and we want you here. We're ready. We welcome all.
And there's one final thing I would like to say, and that I think is about sovereign wealth, because there is a big there is this consciousness around being wealthy, and I read this amazing article that was written by Mike Adams, who's the Health Ranger website, and he wrote about conscious wealth, and he said we all have a job to actually become as wealthy as we possibly can. Not so that we can go out and buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis and yachts and super Greek mansions, but so that we have enough income so that we can support local businesses. We can support the local organic farmer. We can support the mum who is staying at home, bringing up her kids on her own, who trains as a massage therapist, and we can afford to pay her well for those massages. And we can afford to be able to go and help mum and dad businesses, and we can afford to be able to do all different things, because if we don't have that ability, actually, we're not creating betterment in the world. And so a business like this that is good for sovereign health, and is good for sovereign wealth, and it's good for getting people out of financial difficulties just by talking about this. And the internet is full of people saying this works, this works, this works, this works. There are so many videos on the internet going this works that you couldn't pay that many people to BS about it. And I think that's like one of the most beautiful things of all, because it's easy and people see it and go, okay, tell me more.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have a stigma too about wealth and working in the light, working with that healing industry. The stigma is they can't do both. They can't have both, which is so not true. You can help people from your heart and still have that wealth, still have that riches come in, because that's what it's all about, is having that balance, that perfect balance, right?
Yes, it is. I think that's a beautiful place for us to finish. Peter, thank you so much for your time. Cheryl, thank you for your time. It's been wonderful to have you here. And again, if you're interested in becoming part of the business, then you can reach out to Cheryl with the links that I've put on the below the video. And if you're interested in just trying out X39 for yourself, then the link to do that is there as well. Peter, thank you. Cheryl, thank you. And I wish you all a beautiful day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world right now. From Theo, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Cheryl. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.